Hello? How was everyone today? Are you still working? Yes, cool. I am fine, but it has been a busy week. I think I've done more this week than I do in a month normally. But it's been fun. What else? As you can see, we're playing Cinderella Phenomenon again. This time we're gonna follow a walkthrough to get the good ending. And then once we finish the good ending, we probably will play something else and just keep coming back to this and just slowly finish the game that way instead of trying to do it all in one consecutive gameplay, I guess. Because it's a long game. Considering this is like part 7, I think. So this time I actually did pull up a walkthrough, so we'll know how to actually get the good ending. I'm tired. Oh, and then tomorrow we are gonna do a very short summoning stream for Honkai Star Rail. The new character comes out tomorrow, so we'll do that. Probably around the same time as normal. Around this time, I guess. Maybe a little earlier. We'll see. It shouldn't take too long. We're pretty close to getting him, and I want his light cone. And that's also guaranteed. And then I pre-farmed for everything, so it probably won't be more than like 45 minutes, if that. But otherwise, I think that is it. I forgot. Forgot that this game, for some reason, does not hide the taskbar. And the one time my cat's actually here, it doesn't automatically bring my cat up. There we go. So I think I don't remember what this save file is, but hopefully it's where we actually needed to save, because we need to choose karma twice in a row on this. Chapter 3. We'll see. Hopefully, like I said, if not, I'll just restart, just skip everything to it. on my face now. There we go. I decided to go search for Karma as soon as I was done with Mr. Broom, or as soon as it was done with me. He should be sitting at the bar or at the table. I find him at the usual table, talking to Walt, who has his hands on a box. Why, if it isn't the Princess Lovely Morning, isn't it? It's the same as others. Nonsense. Every morning brings new opportunities, right, Waltz? I guess so. Every day there's another chance for a good deed, Princess. Right. No clever comments today, Princess. I do so enjoy them. Maybe coming to Karma was a bad idea. I would love to stay and offer advice, but Waltz and I better be off. We have work to do. You mean that I'm going... You mean that you're going to put me to work? Work? Parfait asked us to pick up some provisions from the tavern. She asked us, but in the end it will be me carrying everything. You make a lady carry everything? Karma suddenly stops, then rolls to look at me with wide eyes. Oh. I cannot say that I like the glimmer in his eyes. How would you like to help, Princess Lucetta? I'm sure this would count as one of your good deeds. I'm pretty sure that's not how this works. Oh, Waltz, you're no fun. Oh, speaking of no fun and stuff, I think last week I mentioned I bought a new game. I tried it out and it was terrible. So I had to return it. So no new game to play. Like cute graphics and everything, but if your game has no like tutorial, you just have to kind of figure it out all on your own. I'm not gonna play it, sorry. I will just drop the game right away. It's one thing when it offers you if you want to skip it. It's another one. It's like, no, you just have to figure it out all on your own. Yeah, no, not for me then. So, if you were hoping for a new game, I'm sorry. Maybe if a different game's on sale, we'll see. Or I haven't looked through all the free games lately, so maybe I'll find some free games we could play. That's how I found this, just going through all the free games on Steam. Oh, as always, this game is free. You can download it yourself and try it out. But back to the game. Helping Karma carry things does not sound pleasant, but I'll go. Truly, oh my, Waltz, it seems I will not be requiring your assistance today. Princess, are you sure? I do like how Karma's like, Lucetta wants to help me out? Waltz, I don't need you anymore, instead of them all just going. Perhaps this might be considered good. Besides, I'll finally get to leave this place for the first time since I've been here, I am sure. Okay, take care of the princess, Karma. Of course. For the rest of the day, Karma takes me to different shops around the town, reading off a long list and giving me the coins to buy things. Oh, excuse me. Are you done drinking water yet? You're so loud. I notice that the townspeople treat me nicely when the the two of us are together. I do not understand why everyone likes Miss Karma so much, but maybe it is because they don't really know him. We stop in the middle of the town and sit in a small cafe on the outskirts to take a break. Miss Karma is still the picture of elegance. Why do you dress like a woman? Darling, not so loud. Why is this even a secret? It's related to my curse. I mentioned that before, didn't I? What was your curse again? Karma was one of the only people at the tavern who did not share what his curse was. Is knowing my curse even so important? You know what my curse is, so tell me what yours is. You dragged me around town to help carry your things. But princess, those weren't even my things. They weren't mine either. Okay, I'll tell you, even though it's very sad. I do not think a curse is meant to be a happy thing. I have the beauty's curse. It is what forces people to fall in love with me every time they see my handsome face. Is that really a curse? That does not sound awful at all. It's terrible. Terrible, isn't it? Good ending. It's terrible. What? Most people don't agree with me. It does not make sense for a witch to cast a good curse on you. I guess it doesn't, does it? Thank you, Princess Lucetta. Why is he thanking me? Still, it feels like I'm missing something. Is that really the entirety of his curse? But don't people fall in love with you when you are a woman as well? No, princess. That love is admiration or appreciation, sometimes lust. And when you're a man, they swarm to me like moths to light. It becomes suffocating. Whom does it affect? The curse only affects women. It is a condition of the curse that they be a woman and that I be a man. It's part of the fairy tale. Which fairy tale? The one with... Oh. Karma suddenly stands up and points at a man selling red apple like candies. He pulls me over, insisting that we try one. I tried to bring up the subject of the curse again, but to no avail. Karma somehow manages to be distracted for the rest of the day, and it is able to effectively dodge my questions. Is Karma hiding something from me? Why would he? I thought pairing up meant helping each other break our curses. Does he not want to break his curse? Oh, thank you so much, Lucetta. We were in dire need of these supplies. I supervised her well, didn't I? Of course, dear. I kind of wish we learned a little more about Parfait. Ooh. One day I will keybind my stream elements to not interfere with games, but that is not today. He did not do anything. Princess, you wound me. It's the truth. But we had this nice talk. You avoided half of my questions. Karma lets out an exasperated sigh that becomes a very forced yawn. I'm going to bed. I wonder when Karma sleeps. Because we know he trains the knights at night and then does maybe some paroles. And then during the day he's out and about helping us break the curse. Does he only get like a handful of hours to sleep, or does he sleep like midday? Today has been a tiring day. Please excuse me, darling. Sleep well. Sleep well, Karma. Karma walks away, leaving me alone with Parfait. He's not so bad, you know. I do not know why I agreed to work with him. Give him a chance, Lucetta. I did not get a single good deed today. It's not about the act, but about the intention. Did karma just use me then? I am tired. I'm going to bed. Tonight, I will rethink my partnership. She says that, but then we never get the chance to, just end the partnership. I barely sleep that night. When I wake up the next day, my body is sore from carrying the supplies around town yesterday. The more I think about karma, the more my anger boils inside of me. How could I not have gotten a good deed yesterday? I decide to find him first thing in the morning. I see him at his usual table, once again staring at the window. A dark aura seems to surround him, and I notice that no one is sitting with him today. Karma. He keeps staring outside, and his eyes are glassy. Karma. Oh, Princess, good morning. It is far from a good morning. I did not sleep at all last night. What a shame. His voice is surprisingly cold, his tone rather dismissive. I was too busy thinking about yesterday. You told me that helping you would maybe help me complete a good deed. I point at my necklace, which hasn't changed at all since I received it. Do you see? Not another piece. You get pieces added to your glass slipper? That's charming. I was thinking that pairing up with you was a bad idea. Princess, did you just say that you were paired up with me? I did. You must have known. Oh my, I assumed that you just wanted to help me. I didn't know you were pairing up with anyone. That's right. I never told him directly I wanted to pair up. Should I have? Well, it does not matter what I say anymore, because I do not think you can help me. Princess, I can't help you do a good deed. You have to do them on your own. I can present you with opportunities, though. Opportunities. We start first by thawing the ice around your heart. So even karma is calling me the Ice Princess. At least I speak my mind and don't pretend to be someone I am not. And I do not pretend things I cannot deliver either. Princess, I do believe you misinterpreted my words yesterday. This is not my fault. Patience is a virtue. Now, if you could, I would like some time alone. I did not sleep well yesterday. Didn't sleep well? Oh dear, that makes all three of us. I turn around and see Rumple appear at the front door. He strides towards the table with a confident grin on his face and then takes another seat. Karma lets out a sigh. Why are you sitting at a table that can hold more than 2 chairs? If you wanted to be left alone, sit at a small table then. Less people are likely to sit down then. Foul man, what are you doing here? You flirt with a man once and he hates you. Is that it? No, you flirt with a man and then you insult him unnecessarily. Oh, I thought it was all in good fun. Something about the expression on Rumple's face tells me that is not true at all. Are they always going to be at each other's throat now? What are you doing here, Rumple? I couldn't help but overhear that you were looking for a partner, Princess. I thought I might offer my assistance, since I know that I can make you far happier than this fool over here. Would you like me to hit you again? What is the problem, sir? I only came to provide assistance where you could not. Rumple turns to me, grabs my hand, and winks at me. What do you say, Princess? We could be wonderful partners, and in no time at all, I swear, I would have your heart aflutter. Before I can slap his hand away, Karma slaps him instead. I cannot help the surprise on my face. Would you like another slap? I am in no mood for pleasantries today. I don't know how I ever mistook you for a lady. You're the most brutish man here. A slap for each cheek, darling. Would you like a third? Rumple stands abruptly from the table and glares at Karma. I can almost see the electricity bouncing between the two of them as they stare over my head at each other. I see Jaren walking towards us with a stern look on her face. I would never hurt a person unnecessarily. I don't resort to violence. Am I? Then that gives me all the openings I need. We need to stand up for Rumple this time. No matter how annoying Rumple is, I don't think he deserves to be abused so much. Besides, Karma does not usually lash out like this. I move to stand in front of Rumple. Princess? This is pathetic, Karma. I know you're not in the mood for pleasantries, but that is no excuse to hurt Rumple. Princess, please move. You're acting like a... petulant child? Fine, you're right. I wasn't expecting him to so easily admit to a mistake. I turned to Rumple. I was only standing up for you, Rumple, because Karma is annoying me. I look down at my necklace, but there is no extra piece. So that wasn't a good deed either. You just told him you were standing up for him only because Karma was being rude to you. Of course that's not going to give you another piece. Alright, what's happening over here? Jaren comes to stand in front of us, her expression stern. Oh, nothing, my sweet. I was just showing myself out. Thank you, Princess Lucetta. And Rumple leaves, and I am alone with Karma. He slumps back down into his chair. After making sure that he won't do anything rash again, Jaren leaves us. I'm sorry, Princess. It appears I really was being a child. Rumple is harmless, and there is no reason for me to act as uncivilized as I did. What would Father think? Father? Oh, it's nothing, but please, if you would, can you give me some time alone? Fine. I leave Karma sitting there by himself and return to the front of the tavern where Annie's has more chores waiting for me. Today I have to work as a server, which is still better than working with Mr. Broom. The usual people are at the tavern and I overhear conversations as I work. At one point, Garland walks over to the bar and Annie serves him a drink. He looks sullen, and I watch him curiously for a few moments. And then I notice he's staring at Jaren, who is talking sternly to two drunken men constantly clinking their bottles together at a table. If you make too much of a scene here, you're going to bother the other customers. But the same people are here all the time, eh? We're not bothering anyone, hun. Garland looks so agitated. What's wrong with him? I will not stand to have you call me that again. Loosen up, woman. You may have been a knight at the palace before, but you got no title now. Garland stands up, and I can see silent anger in his eyes. A few people at the bar look at him with weary. I may have no title, but I still demand respect. Sir Garland, are you okay? He looks back at us, almost like he's coming out of a trance. I'm fine. Sorry about that, ladies. He sits back down, glancing once more at Durin as she continues speaking to the men. They glance at Garland wearily, their expression more somber. Why is he acting that way? Garland's usually more composed. Princess, is something on your mind? No. I brush all thoughts of what just transpired from my mind as I return to my work. Hours go by, and my body protests to all of the learning I have to do. Even though I had to carry a lot around town yesterday, it was nice to be out for a while. Maybe I am better off helping him just to avoid the chores in here. At least that stops me from being worked to the bone. Oh, Princess, you did well today. I always perform like this, but today you delivered everything really quickly. Do you mean to say that I don't perform well on other days? No, Princess. I only mean to say that today your performance is even better than normal. Is that supposed to be a compliment? I walk away from Annie's, who stares at me sadly. If she wants to give me a compliment, she could have said something that wasn't so backhanded. As the tavern clears for the day, I finally have time to sit down and relax. As I am sitting there, Waltz pulls up a chair and sits in front of me. Hello, Princess. I heard from Annie's that you were excellent at your job today. Congratulations on improving. Princess, so you're mocking me now too? Princess, I think you're taking things too seriously. The intentions of the compliment is, well, compliment someone. We're not making fun of you. You are implying that I am not normally as good as at this. We never said you weren't good at this, only that you were better today. Let me give you an example. I put on puppet shows for kids. Sometimes the children come to me and say the show was even better than usual. So the children are telling you that your shows aren't normally satisfactory. Not at all. Children always smile regardless of whether they really like the show. So long as you're trying your best, that's all that matters. The people in the bar are always smiling when you deliver food to them, aren't they? No one here likes me. Maybe if you smiled, they would smile back. I'm not going to smile for any of them. I do not owe them anything. You don't need to owe anyone a smile. She's kind of like one of those people that when a little kid or baby smiles at some random stranger, she just does not smile back. Like, they did absolutely nothing to you. Just give them a smile. And then walk away and do your own thing. Any smile that isn't owed is fake. Princess, I am leaving Waltz. I want some time to myself. I walk upstairs to my bedroom, pointedly ignoring the looks of sadness on Waltz's face. I have been sleeplessly lying on my bed for hours. Sometimes I hear the sounds of people walking through the halls. Who would be up at this time of night? I need to leave and get some fresh air. It is eerily quiet at night. I stop when I hear faint sounds coming from outside. What is that? Apparently we remain inside. I think we remained inside both times. I wonder what happens if we go outside. Probably should have... Oh, no, we have a save for that. On second thought, it might be dangerous. I turn and see Delora looking at me with amusement flickering in her eyes. Did you come down to visit Mr. Broom or something? I didn't know you two got so close. We haven't. It was a joke, Princess. You really don't have a sense of humor, do you? I think it is you who does not have a sense of humor. Snappy as a crocodile as always. So, what are you doing down here? Couldn't sleep? Me too. I heard some sounds. I just wanted to see where they were coming from. Sounds? Are you really spooked by some sounds of the forest? Or are you just too curious for your own good? Curiosity killed the cat, you know. I did not ask for your opinion, witch. Well, the both of us could use some fresh air, don't you think? I stare at her in surprise. Come on, I know a place we can go. Delora and I eventually find ourselves in the forest. It sounds like metal against metal. Well, I guess with you being partnered with Karma, you would find out eventually. Excuse me? I got the answer to my question when we walked through the trees and came into a clearing. I finally see where the sounds are coming from. Two men stand in the clearing, swords clashing. One of the men is Garland, who is posed with his sword. It takes me a moment to realize the other is Karma, who isn't in a dress. So it was he who was with Waltz that night? Neither he nor Garland noticed us at first. Princess, you're staring. Of course I am. What is all this? A practice session. Karma is a very talented swordsman, and he practices at night with either Durin or Garland, depending on who's not on patrol. Karma can use a sword that well. The knight told me once that only knights could have such skill. Just who is Karma? Oh, if it isn't the princess. His voice is nothing like the feminine voice I always hear from him. Karma actually sounds like a man. I notice him looking at me in between his strikes with a small smile. How does he remain so composed and steady with a distraction? Princess? Karma quickly finds an opening in Garland's hesitant stance and then pins him to the ground with his sword still smiling. To be distracted is to die, Garland. I know. The ability to see distractions and then put them in the back of your mind is one every knight should hone. You must know everything that is happening around you, but only deal with the pertinent things. Yes, sir. Karma straightens sword in hand moments later. Garland stumbles to his feet and gives a obedient bow. Karma nods at him before sheathing his sword. A slow melancholy begins to creep into my heart. For some reason, seeing this sword practice makes me nostalgic, though I'm not sure why. What are you practicing for? To protect, princess. Knowing the sword is the same as knowing the shield. It is a means to protect. To protect? I think I remember having this conversation with them before. I can never figure out how to counter an opponent when they're mere inches from my face. My commander calls that one the enemy's kiss, a standoff where your eyes lock onto your opponent because of the proximity. The best way to counter that is to feint with the sword in the opposite direction. It throws your opponent off because they're not looking. Oh, that makes sense, but the enemy's kiss, what a name. It seems so dramatic for a sword move, doesn't it? Swordplay is dramatic though, isn't it? Isn't the most effective swordplay not meant to be flashy? Princess, I didn't notice you there. Good morning, princess. Well, the most effective swordplay cannot be predicted. The commander says it needs to be robust and quick. Sometimes swordplay can look like dancing though, which is why some think that professionals are flashy. That seems unnecessary. Everyone has their own methods, their own skills. All of us knights fight for different reasons as well. Isn't it to protect all of us in the palace? Well, yes, but protect everyone in the palace, in the castle, for different reasons. Princess. The knights protect for different reasons. I turned to Karma. But Karma, you are not a knight. No, I am most definitely not, but since Garland and Durin begged me to teach them, I have somehow become their mentor. There's no way Garland and Durin would do that. After all, the both of them were the best knights in Angelia before they were stripped of their titles. Karma actually speaks the truth. Durin and I did have to get down on our knees and beg for him to instruct us. I wonder how they learned that he's good at swordplay, that they were like, we need him to teach us. What? Is Karma really so talented? So, you are finally impressed with me. What do you think, Princess? Am I the picture of elegance in this outfit, aren't I? You know, I don't know why you and Rumple fight so often. You really are very similar. Don't compare me to that fool. He has no class. Just because you came from different backgrounds doesn't mean he has less class. So, the reason you were so tired today is because you do these practices at night. Oh ho, I suppose I've been caught red-handed. Why does this have to be a secret? Does it have to do with Karma's curse? But he's not in a disguise now. We could have been working on breaking our curses today, but no, you decided that staying up late into the night and practicing was more important. That was probably why you were grumpy this morning. Well, our protection is vital, don't you think? Garland, you were at the palace. How is it that Karma possesses more skill with the sword than you? Princess. Karma is special, Princess. He's more talented with the sword than a lot of other people. And I do pride myself on being a splendid instructor. But never fear, Princess, I will help you dispel your curse after all. You did just suggest that we were still partners. Can he really help me with my curse? But how will he do that? By just presenting opportunities. We'll try again tomorrow, darling. But for now, Garland and I have some more work to do. And this time, Garland, do not lose focus. Yes, sir. The sound of swords carrying through the night air, and for a long while I stand there with Delora watching the two men fight. Karma chides Garland often, telling him that his concentration is waning. Karma is a good swordsman, perhaps even better than the palace knights. His nimble swordplay repeats again and again in my head, even when I return to the tavern for the night. Lucetta, I told you before that the knights are an unruly bunch, but mother, they are so much fun to watch. They are dangerous, Lucetta. Any person with a sword has the potential to use it on you. But father says that those knights are supposed to protect me. That they are, that is their order, but as people, they may not be so good, Lucetta. Not so good. The king has told you that the knights are meant to use swords to protect you, but you cannot trust them completely. Even though father said they would keep me safe, sometimes the people we trust are the most deceitful, and a man with a sword has a weapon to use against you. No matter what he says, be wary that he can turn on you. Haven't I told you before that you should not trust people? But the knights are Even knights can be treacherous, Lucetta. Do not trust a man with a sword. He can be dangerous. Yes, mother, I understand. Try to understand, my sweet. I only want you to be safe. Yes, I understand. Chapter 4. We're gonna save that and then reload. Oops, no, we want to load this one. Yes. What happens if we just go outside? Well, I did say I needed some fresh air. No point in backing out now. I walked to the front door. Princess? I turn and see Delora looking at me with amusement flickering in her eyes. Princess, what are you doing? Getting some fresh air. It's dangerous out at night, you know. You can't just keep me inside like some caged bird. I didn't say you had to stay inside. I said it was dangerous. You might need to get your ears checked. Then there won't be any problem with me going out right now. Princess, you only hear what you want to hear. You can't go outside without an escort. I think we read this actually. This must have been what we picked. No. Maybe not. Maybe this is just kind of a repeat of when we were, trying to go outside when we found out we have a bounty on our head. Before Delora could stop me, I walk out the front door, heading in the direction of the sounds. You must be the most disobedient princess I have ever met, and you must be the most annoying witch. Delora lets out an undignified snort as she catches up to me. Fine then, we'll go on this little night stroll together. Okay. So, nothing too exciting. Durin, if you don't come at me like you truly mean to stab me, you'll never land a hit. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. It has been about 2 weeks since I first saw Karma here in the forest practicing with Garland. I've come here every night since then, though I never stay long as Karma since I actually have work to do in the mornings. Alright, here I come. Their two swords clash, and Karma laughs as he throws Durin back and taps her lightly on the shoulder with his sword. Ugh. That makes 4 hits, and that one was easy. Is that the best you can do, Durin? I noticed that every time Karma practices with Durin, he's in his Miss Karma disguise. He says it's because of the curse and because he does not want Durin to fall in love with him. Isn't he being overdramatic? I doubt someone like Durin could fall in love with Karma. Be subtle and quick. Garland tells me that you're usually good at that. I am, sir. Then why the exception today? Sir, darling, it wouldn't happen to be because of the way I'm dressed, would it? Are you still not used to it? Hit the nail on the head, have I? It's not very chivalrous to hurt a lady, of course, but that logic applies to men as well. An enemy is an enemy, Durin, even if your enemy is a delicate flower like myself. Delicate flower. Durin, you should hit him on the head for that. But princess, he is not delicate at all. Durin laughs and I scowl at her. Is she laughing at me? You and Karma seem to get along. I doubt it. Oh, princess, you wound me. You always say that. You wound me where Durin's blade cannot. Something flashes in Durin's eyes as she readies her sword again. Karma stands ready as Jern rushes at him with her sword. Their swords clash again. I wonder. Karma, your back's open. Karma turns. Jern taps him on the shoulder and laughs aloud. I did it, a single hit. It looks like you have a weakness too, Karma. No, it wasn't a weakness. It was the lack of sleep catching up with me. Why did he listen to me? He told Garland the other day that it was crucial to only listen and watch the most important things. Alright, practice is over for now. I can see Garland coming for his practice. Karma walks to the corner to have a drink. I should probably head back to the tavern soon, but there is something I want to see first. On her way out, Jern gives a solemn nod to Garland. She pauses to say something to him and then looks at me, noticing my vague curiosity. I was just mentioning what a good swordsman Karma is. I have seen him fight, and Karma is a good swordsman. There's no doubt about it, yet is practicing with him so special. He is fast on his feet and quick with his reactions. He's an excellent person to train under, even better than most of the commanders in the palace. I can second that. Even better than Ross. Remember him? The first commander we trained under, the one that punished slow learning with extra exercises. You always had to do more exercise than I did. Something about you being distracted? I was just watching the way you swung your sword to make sure you didn't hurt yourself. You've always been overprotective. Well, They both suddenly stopped to look at Karma, who was smiling slyly on the side. Why does he have that look on his face? Well, that's a sign we can't keep the commander waiting. Garland shakes his head, his expression snapping back into something more serious. Right. The two exchange quick farewells before Jern waves and steps out of the clearing, leaving Garland with Karma. You're in a dress today. Are you two really so opposed to hurting me when I'm in a dress? Or are you worried about ruining it? No? It's just so strange. You move so well, even in a long dress. Excuse me. His dress might be long, but it is so flowy. It's not like a pencil skirt where you can barely move. But yes, Jern did mention almost stepping on it once. Impossible. I am the picture of elegance. Of course, sir. Karma shrugs Garland's comment off. The two ready their swords, then get right into practice. Jern has taken over Garland's patrol now so that Garland can get in some practice time. So, Garland, have you told Jern yet? No. The conversation that Karma always has with Garland is the real reason I stay behind to watch them practice. I do like how she's just so into this like sitcom. Ugh. I don't understand why Garland answers Karma's question if doing so makes him so depressed. Well, have you ever said anything to her, Garland? Oh, will you ever say anything to her, Garland? Why don't you just confess to her already? Karma lands an easy hit on Garland, who sighs in response. Whenever Garland thinks about Jern, he gets distracted. I do not understand his feelings at all, but seeing him remain quite quiet frustrates me. Durin is talented and poised. I can never be good enough for her. You'll never win a woman's heart if you don't compliment her looks as well, Garland. Well, she's pretty too, beautiful, and then there's me. Aren't you both knights? Haven't you been training together for a long time? We do. I can see why you wouldn't tell her. That is so rude. Because she's better than me. No, because if you told her and she refused, then it would be difficult afterwards. You understand, princess. Whoops. I don't know how I messed that up, but okay. Of course I understand. I'm not stupid. No, I didn't mean it like that. Don't take offense, Garland. That's just the way she talks. The princess is a fragile flower with her petals always curled inwards. What does that even mean? It means the flower is messed up. See, if it was Durin, she'd probably know, but I'm just as confused as you are. I don't think so. I don't think anyone understands half of the fluff Karma speaks. That's because I weave love and dedication into every single one of my words. There's a beauty in deciphering them. But enough idle chatter. Sorry. But enough idle chatter, sir. Let us continue our training. I end up staying longer than I intended. By the time I consider returning to the tavern, Garland and Karma are wrapping up for the night. I have a question for Karma, so I wait until Garland leaves before I approach him. You're still here, princess? Were you seeking out alone time with me by chance? I have enough of that every day when we run errands. I just have a question for you. You always come to the right person. What can I do for you, Princess Lucetta? You ask Garland the same question every time you train, and he always tells you that he cannot confess. Karma nods in acknowledgement, but his attention is on his sword. I like how he only badgers Garland about this and does not say anything to Durin. So they either have a better friendship that he can just tease him about it, or he doesn't want to hurt Durin's feelings. He inspects it carefully before sheathing it. It frustrates me. You're frustrated? That look of his always annoys me. Oh my. It is annoying. Did you want me to ask why he won't confess because you're so frustrated? Yes. I suppose after 2 months, I do know you a bit better. You do not know anything about me, and I do not know anything about Karma either. Confessing isn't easy, dear Lucetta. Surely you must realize that the possibility of rejection is a significant detriment. But if you never ask, you never get an answer, and the stress of worrying stays with you and ruins everything. Why are you staring at me? Is that the reason you're so blunt, princess? Blunt? You are far more blunt than I am. Princess Lucetta, you truly are amusing. You're as sharp as a knight's blade. I'm not amusing. That is a matter of opinion, darling. He really is insufferable, and yet I still come to him for advice. The scariest part of a confession is the possibility of rejection. Can you imagine loving someone and then finding out that they don't feel the same way about you? My thoughts shift to the king. My chest tightens. Princess Lucetta? Karma reaches out a hand to brush a strand of hair out of my face. I slap it away without realizing. He pulls his hand back with a gentle sigh. My apologies, princess. No, I cannot imagine. No. Loving someone and finding out they do not feel the same way. I always knew my father never loved me. My understanding is different from what karma is referring to. Besides, I no longer hold any love in my heart for the king. I've already given up hope on him, right? It is a good thing you haven't experienced a rejected love, princess. It is one of the worst feelings. Karma asks to be alone, so I returned to the tavern by myself that night. I do not know why I agreed to this when nothing's changed. Today I am once again out in town with Karma, running errands. Since we've been partners, he insists on me coming with him every day. Why do you need a new dress? Because a lady needs all kinds of dresses in her closet. Variety is key when you want to make a good impression. Why would you want to make a good impression on people in a disguise? A disguise meant to conceal you. It does not exist to be flaunted. Oh no, darling. I only wear the disguise to stop the curse from working on people. It's not really meant to conceal anything but the fact that I am a man. Being doted on by a married woman or by a woman in love with another man is especially troubling. Is the curse really that powerful? I don't know why she's questioning why karma's curse is so powerful that it can work on any woman who's not already cursed, obviously, or a witch or a fairy, when her curse wiped out her everyone's memory of her. Like, this town cannot be that small that it has its own king, not just a nobleman. So this must be like a capital city. Karma leads me over to the dress store, and our conversation pauses when he goes to the store owner to give specifications for a new dress. When we leave, Karma suggests going some places to reward me for all my hard work. You're treating me? Why wouldn't I, darling? You've been helping me for a while now. What is this feeling? Gratitude? Karma does owe me for everything that I've done for him, but why do I feel like this? You know, it would be much easier if you just helped me carry bags. Oh, there, let's buy one of those cupcakes. Karma cuts through my suggestion easily. Does he really dislike work so much that he'd rather pay me off for helping him? It is kind of weird. He's like, I don't want to carry bags, but I'll totally train the knights in sword fighting. Ugh. Karma takes me to a stand showcasing all kinds of cupcakes. There are some with colored frosting, others with fancy decorations. Some are especially eye-catching, like a bright blue cupcake decorated with little stars. Excuse me. Anything catch your fancy, ladies? All of them, actually. Alas, I do not think eating them all would be good for my diet. What do you think, princess? We'll share one. I turn back to the cupcakes, which I realize are big enough to share between two people. Am I choosing one for myself or one that Karma would like? I guess he is treating me, but two cupcakes catch my eye. One has a tiny little creature sitting on top of the frosting. It seems to be a small lizard of sorts, though it is strange. The colors remind me of Karma's dress. The other cupcake is decorated with little white chocolate pearls. Those pearls are small and somehow cute, but Karma might like the other cupcake. Oh, so it's between those two? What would you like, Lucetta? Before we choose the option, I need to go get some water. I will be right back. Okay. We are back. Here we go. We need to choose the fancy cupcake with the lizard. I'll have that one. Then one with the... Oh my, is that a chameleon? A chameleon? It is a chameleon. Oh, that's adorable. Sir, we'll have one of those. I love how he's so excited about the chameleon. I was thinking he'd like it for the colors, not the chameleon, whatever that is. Let's go enjoy this somewhere else, shall we? Karma leads me to the middle of the plaza, and the two of us find a table. He walks off to get a fork and knife before returning and handing a set to me. Do we really need a knife and fork to eat a cupcake? So, before we got your dress and you distracted me with cupcakes, we were talking about your curse, were we? It's not an interesting topic. I was glad we have gotten off that tangent, to be honest. Why don't you want to talk about it? You have your secrets just as I do, Princess. But the whole point of pairing up is to help each other with our curses. Princess, you want to help me, only because it is necessary that I help him so he can help me. I haven't made any progress helping you, though. I know what's probably gonna happen is we break Karma's curse, and breaking his curse will break our curse. Will give us the last piece of our slipper or whatever. But it would be interesting if we broke his curse without our curse breaking. Would he just forget about us all of a sudden? Or would he still remember us because we got the curse before his curse was broken? So would his memory still be intact? You said you would provide me with opportunities. I'm not very good at that, am I? I'm sorry, Princess. Well, I don't think I've done anything for you either. But Princess, you've been helping me for the last few weeks. Whether or not it is an obligation, you're still a good company. Good company? No one ever told me that before. They only tried me for being difficult to speak with. Karma starts cutting the cupcake, with his knife sliding through the frosting and cake with ease. I think I noticed this before, the first time we went through this, but I don't think I commented. He's not cutting the cupcake in half. He's cutting little pieces off. He's like, no, I can't cut through the chameleon. I have to just do little slices. I've definitely never seen such refined manners for a simple dessert. What was your life before the curse, Princess? I have no need to tell you any of that. No, it's not necessary, but I am curious. Would I be doing a good deed in telling him? I don't think so. How about we trade off fact for fact? You give me a story today, and I'll give you one tomorrow. What makes you think I'm interested in your life? Well, you do keep asking me about my curse, only because we're working on breaking our curses. Okay, then, we won't talk about the past or any secrets. We can talk about this cupcake instead. What? Why does he always insist on changing the topic? Karma cuts the chameleon on top in half. I notice that he gives himself the head, which is a lot cuter, while I get stuck with the tail. Chameleons are little lizards that can blend into their surroundings. Is he willing to go this far to avoid the topic? When I was a child, my father used to call me a chameleon. What? I hid a lot to avoid responsibilities. Oftentimes no one could find me, not my father nor the servants. If he had servants, then that makes him a noble. One day I was out searching for a magical creature in our garden, and I came upon the chameleon. It was the small, silly little lizard, but I only found it because I was looking for something fantastic. The lizard on the cupcake does not seem all that fantastic. My father explained that it was what it was to me, and then he started calling me his silly little chameleon. It was ridiculous, but he said I was always very good at hiding, and so it suited me. What is it, princess? It seems like you are still good at hiding. You hide behind your disguises, and you keep many secrets. I suppose I'm still a chameleon then. I don't think that nickname makes any sense. Sometimes they don't have to. Nicknames don't have to make sense to be enduring, princess. Can we please just get back to the subject at hand? Yes, this cupcake. If you insist on sharing a story for a story, then I will tell you something about me. Oh? You don't seem the type to want to share. I normally do not see any reason for sharing things about my past. No. Mother once told me that to confide in someone else was a weakness. But more than that, I was always worried that others would judge me. No one has ever wanted to listen to me. I know enough about others' opinions for me to know that they think I'm the one at fault. Always. I won't judge you, princess. I won't judge you for not wanting to say anything to me. I divulge nothing to you after all. A story for a story, that is the deal, right? I expect you to keep it. Or rather, a fact for a fact. It is not like I have to tell him everything, just something about myself. I will tell you a story. I will tell you about my life at the palace. It's not as if it's a secret, though I doubt Karma would understand. Ever since Mother died, the palace has been a cold place. Why the surprise? Is it because you see Emily and Rod and assume we are all one big happy family? I do have to admit that Princess Emily seems quite gentle, Princess Rod is quiet, but he seems like an honorable man. When I saw you and the princess in the dress shop, Princess Emily seemed very nice, is she not? Her kindness is fragile at best. She tries far too hard for it to be genuine. Her insistence is irritating. I have never wanted to be friends with her. The king took a second wife after my mother died, as if she never mattered to him. Karma is silent, and I continue to talk, my emotions loosening my tongue. I had meant to stop there, but the words keep coming. The only one who ever showed me any affection in the palace was Mother. The king never paid much attention to me in the first place, but he treats Rod and Emily far better than he had ever treated me. What was your mother like? All of my fondest memories are of her. She was always with me in the palace, teaching me right from wrong. She taught me how not to show weakness, who to speak with. Needless conversations is useless. People are often very likely to lead you astray. That was the reason I never saw any reason to speak with the townsfolk. Will you judge me as everyone else does? No, princess, I'm not judging you. I'm just a little sad. Sad? Why would he be sad? It sounds like you lived an empty life. It was not an empty life, but it sounds as if your mother separated you from everyone. If it wasn't as if the townsfolk would have accepted me anyway. Mother said they were not to be trusted. Princess, about your mother. I will not hear you speak ill of mother. No, I only have a question about your mother. Karma coughs, and I pause to stare at him as he clears his throat. What is it? Oh gods. I hear the change immediately. His voice is lower, far lower, the soft gentleness gone. Karma puts a hand to his throat and grumbles. Karma's voice is teetering on the edge of sounding unmistakably male. I've always wondered how he is able to change his voice, but I always forgot to ask him about it. What happened to your voice? Oh, it's Miss Karma. I turn to see a young market girl approach us. She looks at Karma adoringly. I've always wanted to speak with you, Miss Karma, ever since you complimented my dress that one time in the dress store. Your dress is lovely today as always, Miss Karma. Karma? Miss Karma, are you okay? I am quite fine. I cannot help but giggle as the girl takes a step back, looking shocked by Karma's now deep voice. Karma curses again in his deep voice before forcing a smile on his face. Excuse me, I am feeling under the weather. I notice that he is trying to change the pitch of his voice, but the highness is only annoying rather than soothing now. Oh, I'm sorry. Karma turns to me urgently, but I am too amused to offer any sort of assistance. What is it, Miss Karma? Karma's smile is forced, and his eyes are glaring at me. I laugh once again, not able to help myself. His expression softens, but only slightly. This time, we need to tease Karma. He obviously wants to leave, but I cannot help myself. Miss Karma, I do wish you would say something. At the very least, you should thank this girl for a compliment. Oh no, it's quite alright. Come on, Karma, you're usually the most charming person on these streets. Thank you. He sounds like he's dying now. I cannot help but start laughing again. The small annoyances on Karma's face seem to it seems to dissipate completely, leaving. He takes my hand and curtsies politely to the girl as he pulls me away. Karma, you sound sick. It ran out. Ran out? The potion that parfait makes for me. I must have talked too much. You talk too much? Karma puts a finger to his lips as we stroll through the town. He shakes his head, making it clear that he won't speak to me until later. When we arrive at the tavern, it's already dark. Karma pauses and turns to look at me. What? You have a nice smile, Princess Lucetta. I'm glad I could make you laugh. Well, of course I laughed. You sounded ridiculous. It's worth sounding ridiculous just to see you smile. You and Ruffle really are the same. The compliment doesn't faze him. He smiles widely as he leaves for his room. I'm glad I could make you laugh. I cannot get those words out of my head, even though I am supposed to be resting for the night. I think I should go see if Karma is practicing with Durin and Garland. I leave my room and go down to the reception room. Delora and Parfait let me go to the forest at night alone now, since they know that I'm meeting up with Karma. Parfait is in the reception room tonight reading a book. I was always told reading in the dark was bad for your eyes. Oh, Princess, I didn't see you. I noticed that she closed the book, and I can now read the cover. Is she reading Cinderella? That's my fairy tale curse. The Great War was caused by the fairy tales, right? Yes, that's right. And yet you are reading one. The curses are based off these fairy tales after all. But why are you reading Cinderella? My curse isn't anything like the fairy tale. It's reversed. True, but the morals remain the same. In order to become Cinderella, you must be good like her. Cinderella had everything handed to her by a fairy godmother. I had everything taken away. Princess, have you truly had everything taken away from you? Compared to what I used to have, what I have now might as well be nothing. You have friendships and people who enjoy your company. No one in this tavern enjoys my company. Are you sure about that, Princess? I think you just have difficult trusting that we all like you. Like me? Why would you like me? You've become like family here. I haven't been here that long. It doesn't matter. Everyone here at the Martian is family. Family. Are you saying that everyone at the Martian is like family? Princess, you're one of my boarders. You're more than just a regular here. You live here with us. Like I said, you're family. I speak more with the people here than I've spoken to in my own family. In the palace, I'm always alone. The only person I could speak with was Fritz. Are you going to watch Karma practice? I nod in response. Be safe, Princess. As I head to the door, I recall what happened earlier today. Parfait, what is this potion you make for Karma? The potion... Oh, you mean the potion I make to change his voice? He begged me to help him. When he first designed his disguise, Karma makes a beautiful woman, but he didn't think the illusion was complete without a convincing voice. You know how picky he is. Something else on your mind, Princess? Karma hides his curse, but you must know the conditions for breaking it, don't you? Parfait does not answer. Or are you also keeping it a secret? Princess Lucetta, not everyone likes to talk about their curse. I think it would be better if you ask Karma directly. I just don't understand why he won't tell me everything when I am trying to help him. Just as you think your good deeds are difficult, there is also something about Karma's curse that he cannot come to terms with. I put my hand on my necklace around my neck. I still haven't performed any good deeds. Can I really do this? I am going now. I walk out the front door and into the forest. I decide not to think about all of this, at least not until later. I wish this was simpler and that Karma wasn't cloaked in so many secrets. Mother, I went to town today. Oh, I told you not to go into town. Did your father take you? He told me it would be fun, and was it? No, everyone looked really angry at me and I don't know why. I told you before, haven't I, dearest one? The townsfolk are jealous of you. Jealous? They are bitter that their lot in life, and because of that they will seek to use you for your status. You cannot trust them, Lucetta. You cannot trust anyone but me. Trusting others will only lead to heartbreak, Lucetta. You need only to trust me because I will never hurt you. Chapter 5. Okay. Do we want to work on chapter 5 or are we calling it for the night? Because we got through 2 chapters already. Yeah, let's do chapter 5, or at least part of chapter 5, and then call it. I have been at the March Inn for a couple months now and still haven't managed to do a single good deed. Today I went out to town with Waltz to buy ingredients for a parfait. The 2 of us have been very quiet, which is uncharacteristic for Waltz. Princess, what? Did Karma explain why he wasn't coming with you today? Princess? Does Waltz not like my company? Is that why he's asking why he had to fill in for Karma? He said he was tired. Oh. Waltz turns his head, his eyebrows furrowed in confusion. The town feels different today, does it? I feel as if there are people watching us. How can you tell? With practice, I have a lot of eyes on me when I'm doing my puppet show after all. Even before then, I was used to being watched, I guess. Before you were cursed? Why? Well, I was more conspicuous as an adult, I guess. An adult? Oh, right. You have the Neverland curse. You remember. Yes, I have the Neverland curse. I told you what that was in the tavern once. You were stuck as a child when you should be a man. Right. It's a little inconvenient, but I've gotten used to it. Waltz is so much more straightforward about his curse than Karma. The 2 of us go into a store where we find the little cups that Parfait asked us to buy. After I pay, Waltz automatically picks up the bags. His help is nice for a change. I have become so accustomed to carrying the bags on my own. So, have you made any progress on your good deeds? You can see from my necklace that I have not. But you have changed. I still don't see how I changed at all. Karma hasn't taught me anything about doing good. Sometimes, in order to do good, you need to realize something about yourself first. Maybe Karma's not so bad at helping you with that. He is selfish, flamboyant, and acts as if the world revolves around him. But you're still partnered with him. I am. I am okay with Karma's company. Most of the people will judge and shun me. But Karma hasn't done that, and he even mentioned enjoying my company. I have become more tolerant of him too. Oh, Princess. Walt's eyes light up, and I see him pointing towards the crowd of people gathering around the center of the town. A woman stands in the middle of the crowd telling people's fortunes. We should go see if we can get our fortune told. Come on. The crowd around the woman only grows larger until nearly half of the plaza has been taken up. I find myself pushed around in the crowds as I try following Waltz. The crowd is dense though, and in no time at all I've lost him. Waltz! I call for him, but I do not see him over the dozens of people in front of me. I will wait for him at the outskirts of the crowd. He seems to be able to find me. I make my way out of the crowd and to the edge of the alleyway. But Waltz does not appear. 10 minutes go by, and I consider walking back into the crowd when I hear a voice behind me. Are you looking for someone, madam? I feel someone grab my hand. I slap them away and take a step back. When I turn, I find a man standing behind me in the alleyway. Didn't mean to startle you. What do you want? I want to help you return to the palace, Princess Lucetta. You know who I am? I do, Princess, and I can lead you back to the palace. Who are you? Someone who's working for the king. But the king does not remember me. The only people that would remember me are witches, fairies, and those with the curse. Who exactly is this man? You're lying. Princess, why would I ever lie to you? Now come. I am sure everyone at the palace would be very happy to see you. The man grabs my hand roughly and begins trying to pull me through the alleyway. The first thing I try to do is scream, but the man claps his free hand over my mouth. The crowd is getting further from us, and no one can see us in these shadows. Princess, I swear on my word I'll bring you back to the palace. We need to fight back. I have to fight back. Maybe I can still draw people's attention to me. I try to squirm my way out of the man's arms, but it does not work. He chuckles lightly at me until I elbow him in the stomach. For the few moments that I am free, I try to run, but all too soon the man grabs me again with the same punishing grip over my mouth and nose to stop me from screaming. You're a real feisty one, aren't you? I feel like I might faint. In one last attempt to get free, I tug at the man's hand with my own and manage to shift just enough until I can bite down on it. Ow! The man screams in pain, his grip finally loosening. I can hear him curse as I run away from him. A few minutes later, I realize that I've gone in the wrong direction. I soon come to a dead end in the alleyway, and I can hear the man running up behind me. What is this I see before me? I look up to see Karma standing on the rooftop right above us in his disguise, holding a sword, a broad grin on his face. Madam, you might hurt yourself playing with that sword. You might want to put it down. What's this, sir? Do you feel threatened by me? You should. Karma jumps down from the building and raises his sword in front of him. His eyes are angry, his earlier jovial personality fallen away. Anyone that attacks a lady has to pay for the crime. Karma rushes forward, moving faster than I can see, even in his long dress. The glint of the sword catches the man to fall backwards. The glint of the sword causes the man to fall backwards, loosening his grip on me. I step back from the man's hold and watch as Karma points his sword at the man's neck. Now, I have a sword and you don't. Do you really want to test your luck, sir? This wasn't worth it. The man runs off, leaving me alone with Karma in the alleyway. What's this? You were a lot cockier just a few moments ago. I breathe out slowly as relief washes over me. Princess. Waltz approaches where the man had ran. So, did you meet that coward fellow on your way here? I bumped into a man who looked as if he was running from death. Oh my, I feel oddly accomplished. Karma and Waltz's voice become faded and is indistinguished. As my vision blurs, I am suddenly light on my feet. All the adrenaline from earlier has dissipated into thin air. I feel tired. Princess. Before I can collapse, I feel arms pulling me back up. Rest easy, Princess Lucetta. I close my eyes and fall into blackness. When I wake up, Anise is setting a tray of food down on my bedside table. She does not notice as I rise slowly from bed. Anise. Oh, Princess, you're up. We were worried about you. Lady Delora and Lady Parfait said you were just out because of shock, but still, how long have I been asleep? Just a few hours, Princess. Don't worry about chores for now. Lady Delora says that if you're feeling better later, you can use Mr. Broom. Just thinking about using Mr. Broom gives me a headache. Where are Karma and Waltz? Waltz is scouting the town looking for the man that captured you. And Karma? I think he might be in his room, Princess. He's got patrol tonight, so he's resting a bit. If he has patrol tonight, that must mean he was resting this morning too. How did he know I needed help? Do you need anything, Princess? No, I'm going to visit Karma. What? To thank him? Oh, however, he knew if Karma hadn't been there, things would have not ended so well. Yes. That's sweet, Princess. Oh, Lady Delora wants to talk to you about what happened when you're feeling up to it. Okay. I wait until Anise leaves the room before I follow after her. It's only after I exit my room that I realize I do not know where Karma's room is. Anise must have assumed that I already knew, with us being partners and all. It's fine. I do not need Anise's assistance for this. I can find Karma's room on my own. It takes me some time, but I'll eventually find a room with his name on the door in careful, flowery letters. It suits him. I simply open the door without thinking to knock. I expected to find Karma lying in bed, but instead he's standing in front of a mirror changing his clothes. Princess? Oh, I do not think I have ever seen a shirtless man before. Oh, indeed. He turns to me, and the realization that he is standing there just in his pants hits me hard in the stomach. My face feels incredibly and comfortably warm. Why are you just standing there? Put on your clothes. And then I notice the large tattoo on his chest. It is a rose ensnared in by many vines. I stare at it for a few moments before Karma puts a hand there to conceal it. It's rude to come into a lady's room unannounced, you know. Karma slips his usual dress on carefully over his head and then approaches me. I take a step back without realizing. Karma raises an eyebrow and then smiles at me mischievously. It is a familiar look, but it rattles me more now than it ever had before. My princess, you're as red as a tomato. Are you okay? Does this man always need to point out the obvious? I am fine. There's no need to shout, darling. Now, what did you come here for? To see me, the beautiful Karma? Does everything have to revolve around you? Well, you are breaking into my room. I am barely able to stifle a sigh. Well? I cross my arms and I frown at him. He smiles, makes it harder to get my next words out. I came here to thank you. Do my ears deceive me? What did you say, Princess? Princess, thank you for saving me. I saw you fight back. That was very admirable attempt. You saw me? Yes, as you were coming to the end of the alleyway. But I didn't manage to escape. It doesn't matter, Princess. You certainly made an effort. But I digress. You are quite welcome, Princess. It was my pleasure. I should leave. Wait, what? I turn to leave, but Karma grabs my hand and pulls me back. But Princess, don't you owe me something? So, Karma was expecting something in return after all. I should have known. I think you owe me an apology. You did come into my room unannounced after all. What is he talking about? Since you broke into my room, I demand you help me with my makeup. Then I will forget your transgression. Your makeup? Yes, darling. I thought you were resting because you were going on patrol tonight. Resting? Nonsense. I have much to do. My makeup earlier was so messy that I washed my face in order to reapply it. I cannot believe I am going to agree to this. Fine. Ah, what a splendid day today is. Come on, princess, let's do this by the mirror. Karma pulls me over to the mirror where I can see both of our faces reflected. He has a surprising variety of makeup on the dresser beside him. I do not even care that much for my appearance. Why am I helping Karma with his makeup? Now, which feature on the face do you think is the most important one to highlight, princess? What? What are your eyes attracted to most on a person's face? When they're laughing, when they smile? Why is he asking me for my opinion on something so trivial? If someone was smiling, the first feature I would look at on their face would be the lips. Despite myself, I find my gaze dropping to Karma's lips. Why do I feel like I'm walking into a trap? The lips? My princess, I didn't think I'd ever hear you say that you looked at my lips when I smiled. I did not say that. Oh, but you did. And princess, I do believe you are blushing. Even though Karma never said he was referring to his features, I thought about his lips anyway. The thought makes my heart flop. My heart flop. Though I do not have the faintest idea why. Anyway, I agree. Though eyes are important, a smile isn't quite as brilliant without the lips. Without the lips? I tried to imagine a smile without lips and shudder. Sorry, princess, I misspoke. Try to dispel the image from your mind. Anyway, I'll let you choose the order of things. Fine. Just don't make me look like a clown, princess. I know how much you like to tease me, but I need to get out of here quickly today. If you need to leave quickly, wouldn't you do your makeup yourself? And miss the opportunity to have you help me? Nonsense. If I can, I'll have you help me with my hair some other time. The way you do yours is beautiful. I always put effort into my hair as mother always emphasized the importance of looking like a princess. But I have never received a compliment on my hairstyle before. Karma gives me his makeup supplies as I start layering the colors on his face. When we are this close, I cannot help but carefully inspect every one of his features. I do not think I ever did something like this with mother. You know, princess, I don't think I deserve your thanks. I pause and raise an eyebrow at him. What? You've been helping me for a while, and I haven't helped you with your curse at all. What I did today was just coincidence. Coincidence? I heard you were in town with Waltz, and so I followed you too. I only happened to catch what happened in the alleyway. You managed to see me, even when there were many other people who didn't? I have good eyes, probably. Probably? It is not like you to be so humble. Lucetta, I am once again offended. And why were you following us in the first place? You said you were too tired to go into town today. I was worried. It was strange not accompanying you today. Worried? Why would you be worried? Karma looks puzzled for a few moments. He glances at himself in the mirror solemnly, then shrugs. Intuition, perhaps? Waltz mentions something about feeling watched. Is there something that Waltz and Karma are watching out for that I am not? Karma closes his eyes momentarily, and I take the opportunity to test his eyes with eyeshadow. He does not seem to mind. Princess, you haven't spoken about what happened today with the Laura or Parfait, have you? No, not yet. You came to thank me first? Yes. Oh. Karma falls into silence, and I continue to work, sweeping blush on his high cheekbones. Princess, do you know anything about the man who tried to drag you away today? No, he said only that he worked for the king before telling me he would take me back to the palace. I wonder how he recognized you. I was wondering that myself. How curious and alarming. The only one who should pose a problem at this time are witches. Witches? What do they want with me? Well, I only mean that witches are the only ones who can see through our curses. So that man spoke with a witch? It's possible. But why? Why would the witches want me back at the palace, or was the man trying to lead me somewhere else? I suppose either way, the man couldn't have wanted to bring me back to the palace for a good reason. Is it possible that a witch gave a commoner a description of you, but then why would Karma stops talking and looks up at me with something like sympathy? Sorry, I'm just running my head of four ideas. Are the witches really so dangerous, and what do they want with me in the first place? Rest assured, Princess, I will find this out. We will find this out. I nod my head slowly. I have a lot of questions for Delora and Parfait, but it is possible that even they might not know everything. I will need to think on my own as well, just in case they decide to keep more of their secrets. I look at Karma and shake my head. Next time, I will be more wary. I won't let myself be caught unaware. Before I realize it, Karma has his hand on my cheek and is staring at me solemnly. His eyes are cold and unmoving as steel. Princess, there won't be a next time. That's what I said. Next time, I will make sure that you're definitely not alone. Had I been alone today, I might have actually been kidnapped. I know that, but I cannot show weakness. I just need to be more cautious. I am not some damsel in distress, you know. Having someone at your back is far more comforting. Even on the battlefield, knights fight better together. What's wrong? Nothing. He moves his hand away from my face and stands up, sighing. His eyes look suddenly distant and his posture is stiff. I think we're about done here, right? I haven't finished your makeup, though. Wait, why am I concerned about that? Oh? Sometimes simple is better. Or would you like me to sit down? Like me to sit back down? I do enjoy being pampered by you, Princess. I take it back. We are definitely done. Good. Thank you for your hard work. In an instant, the mood changes, and a bright smile once again graces Karma's face. As much as I hate to do this, I'm going to leave you, darling. I have business in town and then a patrol later tonight. I probably won't see you for the rest of the day, but thank you. He is thanking me for putting on his makeup. It was such a small thing. You're welcome. You've already thanked me, though. Well, now you can tell I am twice as thankful as the normal person. That doesn't make any sense, but it's Karma. A lot of things he does not make any sense. I leave the room with Karma and he leaves the tavern as I go to find Parfait and Delora. The two of them are sitting together in the reception, speaking in hushed voices. When I arrive, they both pause to look at me as I walk into the room. Well, if it isn't the princess, took you long enough to come see us. Annie's told us you were unharmed. We're glad to see you're safe, princess. So how about telling us what happened? When prompted, I tell them everything that transpired in the alleyway. The two listen and only exchange a solemn glance when I am done. Do you know something about all of this that I don't? Why would the witches be after me in the first place? You remember what we said about the Terebrum corrupting witches? Well, those witches don't like seeing curses broken. They meddle where they can because they can. That is why I cast a clamor on you when you arrived here so that you can remain hidden from magical eyes. I did it to protect you. To protect me? I feel like there is more to this than that they are hiding, but I do not think any amount of convincing will get them to say anything. Forgive us, Princess, we're not entirely sure what's going on either, though if it was a human that captured you, he must be working with the witches somehow. Troublesome to say the least, but we don't know the details yet. Give us some time to figure things out. Until we figure out who that man is and who he is working for, you need to have an escort with you out of the march-in at all times. Do you understand? And once you figure it out, you will tell me. The two exchange another look, which only makes me more frustrated. They are obviously keeping secrets and right in front of me. We'll tell you once everything falls into place. Don't worry, Princess. We would never let you be put in any danger. The silence is what ends our conversation. I make my way back to my room, feet heavy. I feel like a fly caught in a spider's web. I try my best to clear my mind as I return to my room. The days go by slowly, and I make no progress with my curse. Karma is busy with the knights today, and Delora and Parfait are busy talking with Rumple about his curse in his room. Tonight is the perfect night to go and wander the town by myself. I need to see if I can find out anything about the witches and what is happening around the kingdom. Delora and Parfait are not going to tell me anything, and no one has wanted to help me out of the march-in since the kidnapping attempt. Though these thoughts spiral helplessly in my mind as I sit at a table. I have just finished the work for the day, and the activities in the march-in is beginning to wind down. Garland stands at the door as the last few customers leave the march-in. Jurin is walking around the room to make sure there is no problems. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice two men pause halfway across the room to glance back at her. I can overhear their words from where I am. Shame she's a knight, eh? She's the proud type, too proud to let a man dot on her. Bleeding shame indeed. Do you think if I try to say something to her, you two? Garland is suddenly standing between the two men, an uncharacteristically dark glare on his face. Is there a problem? The doors are closing for the night. I'm going to ask you to please leave. No need to be so uptight, lad. We're on our way now. Out now. The two men walk out, and Garland stands in the middle of the tavern area glaring at them. He more or less pushed them out of the tavern. If Annie's had seen that, she probably would have scolded him. Garland. You okay? Of course. You think you can fool me? I know you long enough to know that something's bothering you. Neither of the knights seem to notice me here. If they do, they ignore me. Jurin is looking insistently at Garland, who looks down at the floor. Is he going to say something to her? Garland says nothing, though. He looks at a loss for words. Finally, Jurin reaches out and pokes his shoulder. He looks up, startled. Still the same as always, the silent, watchful knight. Only says things with certainty when he knows they're the truth. Even the princess is waiting for you to say something. Both knights turn to look at me, and Garland seems surprised. I raise an eyebrow at him, and he hurriedly looks away. Patrol is starting soon. I'll head out first. Okay, stay safe. Garland nods at her with a small smile before he leaves the tavern. Going to sleep soon, Princess? I was just going to head up. I stand up and get ready to move to my room, but stop once more to look at Jurin. Did you hear what those men were saying? Oh, about me being too proud or something? So she did hear them, but chose to say nothing. It doesn't bother me, they're right. I've been independent for a long time and would never think about pledging my safety to a man I barely know. I can take care of myself. Blunt and to the point. Duran was really adamant, was really admired for that honesty in the palace. The only other man I've trusted before were my fellow knights. Garland, most of all, since we've always been partners. She does not explain further. I decide that it's for the better. The sooner everyone is cleared out, the sooner I can leave the marching. Tonight is the night I go looking for answers. Sorry, Karma, but I can handle myself. I'm going to prove it tonight. I may not be able to fight, but I can still be cautious enough to not land myself into trouble. I still do not happen to hear much of anything as I explore the town tonight. I should have brought along some kind of weapon, but then I would have to steal a knife from the kitchen. I am not a thief. Hours pass before I pass a tavern filled with knights. Deciding that I will at least listen to what is happening at the palace, I linger at the open door and listen to what the men are saying. I heard that young Fritz is having a hard time of it. I feel bad for the lad. Even Sir Alcester thinks he's gone mad. Well, he does keep talking about a princess that does not exist. Fritz still remembers me, but how? Even his father has grown weary of his babbling. Sir Methos forced him on a break the other day. He didn't seem happy. Well, Sir Methos must think he's crazy too. Poor Fritz. Can you keep it secret? The knights look at each other and I lean as close as I possibly can. Apparently the boys spoke some truth. Though Sir Alcester doesn't quite believe it, he's looking for the daughter of the previous queen. The witch had a daughter? The previous queen? Are they talking about Mother? How dare they call her a witch? Apparently she did, though I don't even remember such a girl. This is top secret stuff. I just happened to rustle this out of one of the lackeys looking for her. What would Sir Alcester need this girl for? I'm assuming she's dangerous and that they want to get rid of her. Are they talking about me? I'm curious. How are we supposed to find this imaginary princess anyway? Does she have any features? Aye, they described her features. Last man who went looking for her said she wore a special pendant around her neck. I should get out of here. I turn to leave the tavern, but my cloak snags on the door and falls to the floor, tripping me on the progress. I end falling halfway into the tavern where the chatter abruptly stops. Is this... Oh, a lady. The knights that were talking approach me. One of them picks up my cloak. I attempt to grab my cloak from their fingers, but they pull it away from me, and I stumble into one of them. Madam. He moves to take my hand, and then stops when he sees my face. Her face and a necklace. You think she was spying on us? Which? One of the knights grabbed me by the wrist and pulls me towards him. He is far stronger than the man in the alleyway was. Unhand me right now. I am no witch. Then there should be no problem. We're just going to take you in, and if there's no big misunderstanding, we'll repay you ourselves, miss. No, let me go. This behavior is not fitting for a knight. Come on now, miss. Let's go back quickly. Try to convince them. Fighting back is useless when I am outnumbered. I have to try to convince them that I am not who they think I am. You are mistaken, sirs. I happened to overhear your conversation and assumed I am some imaginary princess is unreasonable. The knights look at each other. You know, she has a point. She was listening in on our conversation. That's clearly suspicious. Did you not just hear what I said? I happened to overhear it, nothing more. You were cloaked, as if you were trying to hide your features. Being out at night without a cloak is a sure way to draw attention to a lady such as myself. You know, she has a point. Stop saying that, ma'am. Then, ma'am, there should be no problem with us taking you back to the palace. If we are mistaken, we'll clear up the misunderstanding and pay you handsomely. Come on, let's take her to the palace. The knights lead me out onto the empty streets. Why? Why did I have to be so stubborn? The knights continue pulling me down the path until we come to a narrow street. Everyone who sees us walks away to avoid the knights. There's fear in their eyes. Have I done nothing wrong? Oh, but I have done nothing wrong. Ma'am, if it makes you feel any better, we're risking our rank on this as well. I don't know, I'm suspicious of... Who goes there? I look up and notice Karma's familiar figure walking towards us. What is he doing here, and why isn't he in his disguise? Gentlemen, I ask you to unhand that woman. As a knight, I would be ashamed to be seen treating a lady so terribly. And who are you? Her husband? His what? Unhand her, gentlemen, or taste my blade. Sir, we're just going to take her to the palace to... I will give you on the count of 3. One knight keeps his grip on me. As the other draws his sword, I stare at Karma, who continues to count, though the knight attacks him before his sword leaves his sheath. Karma and the knight trade blows, but as it is Karma that comes out victorious. His blade slides past the knight's shoulder, distracting him enough to give Karma the opening he needs. Karma reaches back with his free hand to knock the knight out with a blow to the head. It might just be my imagination, but for a few moments I think I see the knight's blade glitter across the surface of Karma's hand before he falls. The knight holding me holds up his hands in surrender. I yield, sir. It does not matter how the situation turns out, you are dishonorable. Please, sir. Karma knocks him out and then stands beside me as he sheathes his sword. Karma, a few moments, Lucetta. Karma spends some time forcing a potion from a vial down each of the knight's throat. I watch him quietly, fearing that he might have killed them, but the knights only seem to be asleep. A potion that Parfait gave me. It will make the men forget they ever saw you. When Karma stands again, I notice the glimmer of blood on his hand and stare. You're hurt. It's nothing. I am sorry. Come on, princess, let's go back. He pulls me right out onto the main street and does not let go of my hand. I cannot bring myself to speak. Karma has saved me twice now. Not only that, but this time he is injured. He says it's nothing, but his bloody hand does not move at all. Why do I have to be so stubborn and insist I can handle myself? I do not speak for a long time. Eventually, I notice people start to stare. Though before long, the staring grows worse. Young women begin following us, giggling from behind. I turn to Karma, who looks like he hasn't slept in days. Karma. Sorry, princess, I'm not in the mood to talk. Those girls were walking behind us. This is his curse? Karma. Lucetta, I just said I'm in no mood to talk. Did you not hear me? We are being followed. He stares behind us almost stupidly and then laughs hollowly when he sees when the girls see his face. They start to rush towards us, their voices rising and blending together into a horrendous canopy. Karma is not moving, though. He looks resigned. Maybe he is too tired to realize what he wants to do? I tighten my grip on Karma's hand and pull him away, my pace quickening to run as the girls chase us, screaming at me angrily for taking Karma away from them. Lucetta, what are you doing? Getting us out of here. Lucetta. I'll lead him through the town and into little nooks and crannies where we manage to lose some of the crowd. Karma often leads me through some of these spaces as shortcuts. Waltz knew them too. Once we are alone again, I stop, falling to my knees and letting go of Karma's hand as I catch my breath. That really was a curse, having to run away from so many mindless women. That was difficult. Lucetta? What? I did not mean to snap, but the tiredness is pressing on me too. You helped me out of that. Of course I did. Why would I want to be chased by girls? You could have left me behind and gone on alone. Instead, you helped me. You helped me too. I guess I paid you back. Though, to be honest, I wasn't even thinking about repaying him for saving me. I just knew that I didn't want Karma to be stuck trying to fend off all of those girls. He was right about his curse. This is terrible. I just realized something. Karma kneels down beside me and waits for me to speak. My curse has people forget me, and yours has even strangers becoming fascinated with you. It's almost like our curses are opposite of each other, and yet, we seem so similar. My eyes widen when I realize what I said. We are similar, aren't we? He holds out his good hand to me, and I let him lead me back to the tavern, through the abandoned alleyways. My feet are heavy, and all I want to do is sleep, but suddenly Karma is standing before me, his face grave. Lucetta, I have to thank you for helping me earlier. I'm sorry I froze like that and made it more difficult on you. It was so sudden, and I was so tired. I had no motivation to move. Shouldn't I be thanking you? I'll accept your thanks, even though I wish you didn't have to thank me in the first place. You should not have gone out on your own when you knew how dangerous it would be for you. I am sorry. I'll accept your apology too, because I lost sleep over this. I have no words of how I feel right now, Princess. Karma reaches for my hand again, and this time he holds it up and kisses the back of it. Suddenly, all my tiredness falls away. You really are a handful. But a delightful handful. I'm going to bandage this hand and then rest. We'll speak later about all of this, okay? But the blood. The bleeding stopped on its own, Lucetta. It does not need to be treated. Don't worry. It'll be fine. Are you sure? As sure as I can be. I don't lie. Not even for the sake of a pretty lady. Karma lets my hand go as soon as we enter the marchand, and then bows politely to me before heading back to his room. I watch him go, my mind whirling. Does he usually kiss women's hands? No, I don't think so. Okay. We are definitely calling it for the day. We are almost done. We have 4 more chapters left, so we might be able to get all 4 chapters done next week, and then we'll move on to a different game and then come back. But either way, like I said, at the start of the stream. I will stream tomorrow around my normal stream time, so we can pull the new character in Honkai's Star Rail. But either way, I hope everyone has a good rest of their day, and I will see you all hopefully tomorrow. If not, I will see you all again next week. Bye.